talked about that over the years, how many news headlines Stone Cold Steve Austin has made since he left the WWE in 2002, 2003, and how much it's been talked about. And The Rock, God knows that nobody's ever going to give The Rock the benefit of the doubt for how many times The Rock has walked out and left the WWE. I mean, we haven't seen The Rock actually wrestle in WWE in over a year now, and fans are still predicting that we're going to see The Rock wrestle sometime throughout 2014. Here's the thing, if The Rock's going to wrestle in 2014, he's got to wrestle by SummerSlam. The man was on the cover of WWE 2K14, and it's only now we're seeing The Rock on television for the first time since last year. I mean, give me a break. Not everybody are fans of Rock movies. Not everybody's going to pay the price of a movie ticket to go see a Rock movie. You are if you are a diehard fan of The Rock. It's the same thing if you're a diehard fan of someone like Johnny Depp or Justin Timberlake. You're going to pay to see their fucking movie because you're a diehard fan of them. But not everybody is a diehard fan of Rock the movie actor, more like they are the diehard fan of Rock the wrestler. And I believe there are more diehard fans out there of the Rock the wrestler than there ever were of the movie star. And the thing is, if The Rock's going to wrestle in 2014, he has to do it at least by SummerSlam. I don't care who it's against. I don't care if it's against Brock Lesnar, Randy Orton, Alberto Del Rio, or someone like Hulk Hogan or Stone Cold Steve Austin again. Whoever he's going to wrestle, we need to know who he's going to wrestle and when The Rock is going to compete next. One of the statements that was made from match to match to match The Rock had when he first announced his return to wrestling in 2011, the night after WrestleMania 27, when he rock-bottomed John Cena and cost him the championship in John Cena's first loss in a singles match in WrestleMania history, after John Cena had been something like 7-1 at WrestleMania, 6-1, something like that, was that we need to know when The Rock is going to compete next, and we need to know when The Rock is going to compete next sooner than what we do. And that was one of the truest statements that a journalist for professional wrestling had ever made. I myself included made that same statement. We need to know when The Rock is going to compete from match to match to match, and we still don't know when The Rock is going to compete from match to match to match. We just have to wait months and months and months and kind of predict. We're left predicting when The Rock is going to wrestle again, and we need to know that, especially with how limited many appearances The Rock makes. It's not like The Rock makes up to 50 appearances on a contractual obligation with WWE. It's not like The Rock has some kind of Legends deal worked out with WWE when he can appear on WWE television anytime he wants. He just has a negotiation deal signed with WWE that allows him to promote things like movies he's got going on outside of the professional wrestling business, as opposed to having signed a Legends contract which requires him to appear so many times on WWE a year. He can just show up whenever he wants to. We just need to know when he's going to compete again. You know, the promo where he referred to how fans have birthdays 9 months after WrestleMania because their parents get so excited from watching The Rock wrestle. The thing is, we don't see The Rock wrestle enough for parents to get excited to have babies 9 months after WrestleMania. I mean, even if The Rock just wrestled once every year at WrestleMania, kind of like how The Undertaker did up to this year's WrestleMania, where he went 21-1 against Brock Lesnar for the first time ever, I'll never forget the reactions to the fans, the over 75,000 view when The Undertaker streak came to an end. Nobody thought it was going to happen the way that it did. The thing about The Rock is he doesn't have a contract like The Undertaker. He doesn't wrestle once a year at WrestleMania, but even if he did, I think it would be a whole lot more fun for wrestling fans because we would know at least what would be the date for The Rock to wrestle. We could say on April 5th, April 6th, April 7th, anywhere between April 1st and April 7th. We'll see The Rock wrestle at least once, and we'll kind of just be predicting his opponent up until the time it's announced, like we've been doing for The Undertaker for a number of years. But we are a long way away from seeing it because nobody knows when The Rock is going to ever compete again. But the thing that made this promo stand out the most was just the respect that all three of these individuals had for each other. It was amazing. I'm surprised. One thing that really jumped out at me about this promo is we didn't get one chant of triple threat, and we got it with Shawn Michaels, The Undertaker, and Triple H for the end of an era Hell in a Cell match when the three of them were in the ring cutting a promo prior to the end of an era Hell in a Cell match, which Shawn Michaels, of course, was the referee for. And you would think that if it was the end of an era, Shawn Michaels would have made an exception after retiring at WrestleMania back in 2010, WrestleMania 26. I think that he would have made an exception. You would have thought he would have, and at least we would have gotten that triple threat match, but we didn't. But one thing that I didn't hear out of all the chants during this promo was a chant of triple threat. I mean, that would have been one of the biggest WrestleMania moments of all time if we would have had a triple threat match made either for that same night or at WrestleMania 31. And if you want my honest opinion of this promo between Hulk Hogan, The Rock, and Stone Cold Steve Austin, we haven't seen the last of these individuals when it comes to making appearances on WWE television. After that fuck up by Hulk Hogan in the first promo of WrestleMania 30, a WrestleMania once again, which I have described as the greatest WrestleMania of all time. It's often been quoted and described and put over as the greatest WrestleMania of all time, not just by myself, but by other radio shows and columnists. For a WrestleMania that was put over as the greatest WrestleMania of all time, one of the greatest WrestleManias up to this point in time in wrestling history, and with how Hulk Hogan fucked up, I really don't think we have seen the last of Hulk Hogan, because a lot of things factor in to me believing that we haven't seen the last of Hulk Hogan. One of the biggest things is that Hulk Hogan signed a deal with the WWE Network, and you know The Rock has some kind of negotiation going on with WWE, and we know that Stone Cold Steve Austin has signed a deal with WWE Network to produce some programs for them and segments and different things, and the things he's got going on outside of the wrestling business. They all have great agents, the three of them, so we haven't seen the last of them, and I still hold the belief that one day we will see The Rock compete again in the WWE, although a lot of fans believe he's finished and will go into the Hall of Fame as early as next year. But the thing is, fans have been predicting The Rock's been going in the Hall of Fame for seemingly forever. Wasn't he supposed to have gone into the Hall of Fame 3 years ago? It hasn't happened yet. Fans are still predicting it. We could see it by 2015, March 28th or 29th of next year. The interesting thing is WrestleMania happens on my sister's birthday next year, so that's a whole lot of fun. Maybe we'll go see WrestleMania, I don't know. But the thing is, a lot of people are still predicting, getting back to my original point here, The Rock will go into the Hall of Fame. It hasn't happened yet. So because it hasn't happened yet, I predict and still hold the belief that we will see The Rock compete again in a WWE ring, the same way that I believe that one day we will see Sting compete in the WWE ring, and the challenge has already apparently been issued. Sting has already challenged The Undertaker for a WrestleMania match. So is that a dead giveaway that Sting and The Undertaker will wrestle next year at WrestleMania, or The Undertaker will have a logical reason for coming back? In my opinion, even though if Sting and The Undertaker's match doesn't happen at WrestleMania, the match between The Undertaker and Brock Lesnar, the rematch, will be for the championship next year. That's what I predict. The Undertaker already has a reason to come back, regardless if it's for the title or not. I would love to see Brock Lesnar be champion when The Undertaker returns next year, to give The Undertaker a reason to come back for vengeance and to become the champion one more time in his career. Even though he won't take his undefeated streak with him into the Hall of Fame, in his last match he could go out on top as the champion, and there's no better way for such an iconic name like The Undertaker, who could have easily been involved in that promo with Hulk Hogan, The Rock, and Stone Cold Steve Austin, making it a four-way promo with how big a names they have been at WrestleMania and affiliated with WWE over the years. The chances of The Undertaker going out as champion, I think, have never been better now that his streak has gone away from him, especially after how I believe that when The Undertaker retired, he should have taken his WrestleMania streak with him, because that's really what defines his legacy. And all four of these individuals, who are huge contributors to this year's WrestleMania, have had things that have defined their legacies and things that they will never, ever be forgotten for. I'm your host, Jonathan Clarke, and I will see you next week. Before we get out of here, I have some audio clips from the promo that you have never heard before, as I've been talking about this over the past number of weeks, at least for the last 2 weeks, from the promo with The Rock, Hulk Hogan, and Stone Cold Steve Austin. Some comments from The Rock and Stone Cold Steve Austin towards Hulk Hogan are coming at you right now. And when we come back from this brief commercial break, I'll have some music lined up for you. After the break, you will hear from Carly Rae Jepsen. I haven't played anything off of her album This Kiss in a while. I'll have something for you when we come back, but for now, here's a listen in on what The Rock and Stone Cold Steve Austin had to say, referring to Hulk Hogan's faults of referring to it as the Silverdome rather than the Superdome. But most importantly, I want to take into consideration, I want you at least to take into consideration how The Rock and Stone Cold Steve Austin showed so much respect towards Hulk Hogan. I saw this coming from miles and miles and miles away, just as millions of other wrestling fans did. But I want your opinion after hearing this, and what you think of the respect shown towards Hulk Hogan from The Rock and Stone Cold Steve Austin, who made it possible over 30 years ago, coming out saying to say your prayers and eat your vitamins and do everything worth doing in life to get somewhere with it. He made it humanly possible for The Rock and Stone Cold Steve Austin to do what they did years later, over 14 years later, nearly a decade and a half later. The Rock and Stone Cold Steve Austin were main eventing WrestleManias 15, 17, and their final match at WrestleMania 19, and it was all because of Hulk Hogan. Take a listen to this, and I will see you next week. You can join the conversation on our Facebook page page, by the way, at HEW Entertainment with over 1,000 fans listening to our show. We have a few new listeners who have recently subscribed to our Facebook page. I got your friend's request the other day. Thank you so much for getting in on the conversation. We have over 1,000 once again listening to us, with over 1,000 wrestlers and celebrities you can join in on the conversation of on our Twitter. You can follow us at Jonathan Clarke1, and you can watch us on our YouTube channel at Jonathan Clarke22 with over 1,000 videos uploaded for you. And our mobile app with some new updates is now available for download exclusively on the App Store and on Google Play. All you have to do is type in HEW Entertainment mobile app to get access to that, and you can download it from our mobile app website, which is conveniently linked up to our website now. We actually have an actual website for the mobile app itself, and you can download it on our website. You can also download things like our screensaver and our official toolbar, which links you directly up to our Facebook, Twitter, and our official website. So make sure you get in on the conversation and advertise HEW Entertainment in your own unique way. And don't forget to download our banner, which I recently threw up on our website, which you can link our website to yours by posting the banner with a convenient HTML code. Really got to appreciate that hypertext multi-linking strategy that websites have implemented for years and years and years, just as much as you have to really appreciate Real Simple Syndication, our assist news feeds, which updates on our Facebook and Twitter every half an hour with the latest headlines from professional wrestling and entertainment. Coming up after the break, something from Carly Rae Jepsen's album, This Kiss, and I will see you next week. Take a listen to what The Rock and Stone Cold Steve Austin had to say in the closing moments of this promo directed towards Hulk Hogan. I promise you, you will not believe it, and I will see you next week.
If you want me to open up a can of whoop ass on Hulk Hogan, give me a hell yeah.
That's overwhelming.
That's what I thought you was gonna say. Hey, we had a damn good night last night at the Hall of Fame. I was sitting right next to the immortal one, Hulk Hogan. I saw everything you did from the get-go. WrestleMania 1, WrestleMania 2, WrestleMania 3, WrestleMania 4, WrestleMania 5, WrestleMania 6, WrestleMania 7, WrestleMania 8, WrestleMania 9, WrestleMania 10. You get the picture. Hulk Hogan kicked a lot of ass. For a long time, we've been very protective of our legacies. Sitting next to you, watching all the dues you paid